Hello guys, how are you? I hope you are fine. We are here today to do the pages 64 and 65. We have our reading exercise. Check the title of our text. It is Baby Storm, the genderless baby. So we will talk about a baby that the family doesn't tell anyone the gender of his baby, if it is a boy or a girl. Okay? But before we start reading, I want to do with you our exercise 1. So here in our exercise 1, we have some words that are related to boys and girls. Okay? In your mind, you don't need to write, just think about these words. Okay, when you see these words comes to your mind, boy or girl. For example, the color blue, boy or girl. Breadwinner, that is the person responsible to bring food to the house, boy or girl. Competitive, dependent, doll, flowers. Good driver, for sure girls, because we drive better than boys. Lazy, Lego. Maths, nurturing, that is like nutrição. We can think about the mother because she gives the milk to the baby. Yeah. Pink, sensitive, sporty, and strength. Okay? So when we talk about pinks, most people will say that are for girls. When we talk about blue, most people will say that this word is boys. Okay? So in your mind, what is your opinion? Exercise 2. Work in pairs. You cannot work in pairs because we're not at school, but I need to answer this question. What happens in your culture when a new baby is born or is expected? Here in Brazil, what do people do when they are waiting their baby? For example, I wait the exam to show me if it was a boy or a girl. Yes, 4 months it was possible to see that Alberto was a boy. But some people do some blood exam to check the sex of the baby when they are 6 or 8 weeks of pregnancy. It's possible to check if it is a boy or a girl, and then they do a party to tell. Yes, it's a surprise party for the parents to tell if it is a boy or a girl. If it is a boy, it will have a blue cake or blue balloons, blue papers. And if it is a girl, pink balloons, a pink cake. Yes? Do people tend to find out the sex of the baby before birth? Yes, here in Brazil. Mm-hmm. In the past, no, because they didn't have lots of technologies to check the sex, or they have the technology, but most family don't have enough money to pay for these exams. It was something expensive. Nowadays, each month, you should do an exam to check the baby. And during this exam, it's possible to see. How soon do the parents announce the baby's name and invite visitors? The baby's name before the baby born or after the baby born? And how soon do they invite the visitors? I think when it's family, 2 weeks. Yeah, to invite them to your house. What kinds of gifts do people bring? Clothes, toys. And are there any other costume here in Brazil? We can talk about that chá revelação. This is something I'm not sure if it happens in other countries, but here in Brazil, now it's very popular. Okay, let's start. I'm going to put the listening, yeah, the reading. And before I want that you look the pictures that we have. Is this baby a boy or a girl? As I told you, the family doesn't tell anyone the sex of the baby, if it is a boy or if it is a girl. Yes, nobody knows. This is Storm. Let's start. Okay.
Baby Storm, the genderless baby. Meet Storm. With blue eyes and chubby cheeks, the 4-month-old is adorable. However, whether this baby is a bruising boy or a blushing girl is, the parents say, a secret. In fact, they're leaving the decision up to him or her.
Okay, so as I told you, the decision of being a boy or a girl, it's up to him, up to her. In the future, the baby will decide if he wants to be a boy or a girl. He is 4 months, yes, and we don't know if he is a bruising boy, like a boy full of hematomas, yeah, or a blushing girl with the red cheeks, yeah. Let's continue.
This bizarre decision has led to Kathy Witterick, 38, and husband David Stocker, 39, being labelled the most politically correct family in the world. There's nothing ambiguous about the baby's sex. When Storm was born, the couple sent an email to friends and family stating, "We've decided not to share Storm's sex for now." A tribute to freedom and choice in place of limitation, a stand-up to what the world could become in Storm's lifetime. Almost everyone they told was united in believing they were setting their children up for a lifetime of bullying. Children can be cruel. Picture Storm's first day at school, but Mrs. Witterick was defiant. When the baby comes, even the people who love you the most and know you intimately, the first question they ask is it a girl or a boy? If you really want to know someone, you don't need to ask about their gender. The couple believe they are releasing Storm from the constraints society imposes on males and females. They claim children can make meaningful decisions from a young age. They call parents who make choices for their children obnoxious. The Wittericks, instead, tell their children to challenge how they're expected to look and act based on their sex. Their older children, Jazz and Keo, decide when to cut their hair and pick out their own clothes. 5-year-old Jazz sometimes wears dresses, keeps his hair long, and pink is his favourite colour. Keo, too, loves purple and keeps his curly blonde hair at chin length. Mrs. Witterick is a stay-at-home mother who practices unschooling. Homeschooling driven by a child's curiosity. The inside of their home could be described as organised clutter. Jazz was old enough to start school last September, but chose not to. Both children and adults, his mother explained, would immediately react with Jazz over his gender. When asked if that upsets him, Jazz nods, but says no more. Mrs. Witterick says, "We are all mocked for our appearance sometimes. When faced with judgment by others, which child stands tall? The one facing teasing despite trying to fit in, or the one with a strong sense of self and at least 2 go-to adults who love them unconditionally?" It must have been extremely difficult for them to sustain this level of secrecy, but they say that is society's fault, not theirs. The family recently took a trip to Cuba, and since they weren't fluent in Spanish, flipped a coin at the airport to decide what to tell people. "What a big, strong boy," people said. The moment a child's sex is announced, the parade of pink and barrage of blue begins. Tutus and toy trucks aren't far behind. The couple refer to this as the tyranny of pronouns. They considered referring to Storm as Zed, but now call the baby she, imagining the S in brackets. For the moment, it feels right. California-based psychologist Diane Ehrensaft says she believes parents should support gender-creative children. She said there is something innate about gender, but that Storm's case is worrying because by not divulging Storm's sex, the parents are denying the child a way to position him or herself in a world where you are either male, female, or in between. In effect, they might have created another category, and that could marginalize the child. The couple plan to keep Storm's sex a secret as long as Storm, Keo, and Jazz are comfortable with it.
Okay, so guys, what do you think about this family decision? Is it good? Is it bad? Different? What possible effect do you think this might have on him or her life? What is the effects that you think this baby will have in the future? Okay, now that we read the text, what I want to do with you is exercise 5. In our exercise 5, we need to fill the blanks with the correct option. So let's go to the first paragraph in our text and tell me which sentence is the best one to fill it. The bizarre decision has led Kate, 38, and her husband David, 39, being labeled the most politically correct family in the world. There is nothing ambiguous about the baby sex. What is the best option to fill it? Let's check. The parents, brothers, and 2 midwives who delivered the baby know. That, however, is it. Ok? Did you understand? Os pais, os irmãos e as 2 moças que ajudaram a dar à luz são os únicos que sabem. That is midwives. Okay, let's continue. Number 2. Almost everyone they told was united in believing they were setting their children up for a lifetime of bullying. What is the number 2? Letter D. Their announcement was met with silence. They calmed the deluge. Storm grandparents were supportive but resent having to explain the situation. Friends accused the couple of taking away the newborn's right to choice by imposing their own ideology on the baby. Number 3. They call parents who make choices for their children obnoxious, that is, like irritante, odiosos. The witners instead tell their children to challenge how they are expected to look and act based on their sex. Their older children, Jazz and Keo, decide when to cut their hair and pick out their own clothes. 5 years old, Jazz sometimes wears dresses and keep his hair long and pink is his favorite color. Keo, too, loves purple and keeps his curly blonde hair at chin length. Which sentence can I use to complete? Letter E. The result is that most people believe they are girls. Their parents don't correct the assumption. They leave that to the discretion of the boys themselves. Mrs. Witterick is a stay-home mother who practices unschooling. Is the school driven by the child curiosity? Then inside of their home could be described as organized clutter. Organized clutter is like uma bagunça organizada. What is the option for number 4? Yes, letter A. The children artwork adorns the wall. The family co-sleep on 2 mattresses pushed together on the floor of the master bedroom. So they sleep all together in 2 mattresses, dois colchões. In one room, everybody sleeps together. Number 5. It must have been extremely difficult for them to sustain this level of secrets, but they say that is a society fault, not theirs. There are days where their decisions are tiring. We spend more time than we should providing explanation for why we do this. I regret that Jazz has to discuss this gender before people ask him meaningful questions about what he does and seems in the world, but I don't think I am responsible for that. The culture that narrowly defines what he should do, wear, and look like is. The family recently took a trip to Cuba, and since they weren't fluent in Spanish, flipped a coin at the airport to decide what to tell people. Number 6. It landed on heads. So far the week, everyone was told the storm was a boy. The language changed immediately. So remember that they didn't confirm that he was a boy. They let the people decide if he was a boy or a girl. 7. What a big, strong boy, people said. The moment a child's sex is announced, the parade of pink and barrage of blue begins. Tutus and toy trucks are far behind. The couple referred to this as a tyranny of pronouns. They consider referring to his term as it, but now call the baby she. Imagine the S is Brett's. For the moment, it feels right. Let's continue with number 7. The last paragraph that is talking about the psychologist. In effect, they might have created another category, and that could marginalize the child. Furthermore, asking young children like Jazz and Kyo to keep the secret is alarming, she said. For very young children, they are not ready to do the kind of sophisticated discernment we do about when a secret is necessary. The couple plan to keep Storm's sex as a secret as long as the Storm, Kyo, and Jazz are comfortable with it. Everyone keeps asking us, when will this end? Said Mrs. Witter. And we always turn the question back, yeah, when will this end? And when will we live in a world where people can make choices to be whoever they are? That's it, our exercise 5, and we finish our class with this nice text comprehension. Thanks a lot. Bye bye. Have a nice day.